Welcome to the Fit Femme Project Alignment Podcast. It is here that we cultivate and gather all who have been through it in fitness, relationships, careers, lifestyle changes, and unforgettable crucial life pivots trying to achieve their most sovereign selves. We're here to provide you with thought-provoking, detailed stories and information from truly fascinating men and women from all walks of life, professions, generations, and modern-day sagas who speak to their rawest, darkest moments that made them the strong, decisive, humble, helpful, healing people that they are today. We ask them to hold nothing back because life is a multi-dimensional pursuit to be stronger, healthier, and more aligned mentally, emotionally, and physically. Let's go.
Hey.
We're here
They just
celebrating.
rode back with me to school.
Hi everybody, welcome back. We have, as you could probably tell, two lovely ladies, I would say second best moms in the world because my mom's first. Sorry.
Okay.
Hot take, I know. But I have Coach Lindsey here and Rosada. Well, you're a coach, yeah, but right?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. I should have done my research. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I have Rosada with us. She's been on before, but we're here. We're talking about mommy stuff because I'm not a mom and I have no opinion in the matter.
Walter and Jasmine beg to differ, but okay.
I was just going to say, two four-legged ones in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I know. It's so cute. Every time Mark comes home, Walter runs to the door and I pick him up. I'm like, say hello to your son.
Where have you been all day?
Meow, meow. It's so cute.
Left him for eternity.
Yeah. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I love this little group. It's my favorite.
It's fun. Yes, I love it too. I'm doing great.
Same here. I'm doing really good. A little tired. We've been up and moving and 2 sets of cardio and a class trained, but we're good. We're going.
Dang,
You
girl.
did 2 sets of cardio?
Yeah, I had to do 20 minutes and 20 minutes. I'm supposed to do 40 minutes fasted.
Total.
Yeah, but I teach a 6 a.m. class on Tuesday, Thursday, so I'm not getting up any earlier than I already do. So I do 20 minutes before and 20 minutes after.
That's a fair compromise, but still sounds awful.
And I'm the opposite. Like I have to get my cardio done very first thing in the morning, and it cannot live anymore after I wake all the way up. So it doesn't, like last time when my cardio, it was like, I think it got up to like 45 minutes, maybe 50, something substantial. I was like, I don't care. I'll get up at midnight, but I can't live with cardio in my brain all day.
No.
That's funny. Yeah, me too, guys. Well, kind of. It's just that if I still have my step, now that I'm in a good groove with my little walking pad I'm standing on right now, if it's like 2:00 and I haven't hit 8,000, I'm like, oh, I'm like, wait, but there's still so much more time in the day.
It doesn't
but I'm
feel
just
like
so
that
used.
though.
It's like time is losing, the world is ending. I gotta get this over with.
That's me. I'm like, I have not only cardio to do, but also like just like a bad life.
A bad life.
I got the kids
So dramatic
and
over here.
And the training and the eating. Don't include all the eating.
Oh, don't get me started. Ever since Lindsey upped my calories, it's fine during the day. You kind of caught me talking about this yesterday, Lindsey, with Zan. But by the time dinner rolls around, I'm not changing anything. It's business as usual with how I would do dinner regardless of where my calories are at. But before I even get halfway into my dinner, I'm like, this is impossible. I can't do this. I can't finish this.
You gotta move some macros around.
Yeah,
I do. And I was like, yesterday was the second day where I was like, okay, let's just start my eating a little earlier. Let's back things up. So I'm a little more hungrier by the time dinner rolls around. There's more space in my tummy. Well, it hasn't worked so far, but we'll see.
Yeah, you're talking to two people who just got their macro slashed. So
Oh, I'm
just
sorry.
for a little self-awareness. Neither one of us
Yesterday
are
I was-
anywhere near the 200 carb club anymore. Or I'm not. I shouldn't speak for Rosada.
I am not. Not at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should appreciate where I'm at, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like, it's funny how it's, I don't know, like you go back, like you're like, you get to be in like your comfort zone sometimes for a little bit, but it does always seem like we're always pushing, right? Like in off season, I'm sure Rosé is the same. I would, especially like on normal days where like you, Caitlin, I'm just like at my house, just eating my food. I would so much rather not eat that last meal. I'm just not hungry. And when I'm not hungry, I don't even want to get up and make dirty dishes and fix it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll just be
Oh.
like, or I could just post up on the couch. But yeah, and then that you're uncomfortable for a while, and then you're like, okay, now we're gonna cut. Now we're going uncomfortable the other way, where you're
Yeah.
like, if I save half this English muffin,
Yes.
what a lovely dessert for me.
Oh.
Maybe I could break this meal into 2 meals so I have
Uh-huh.
6 meals. That
Yes, I
sounds
was like,
great.
I could put half my peanut butter and jelly on half of the English muffin and save the other half for like if I get hungry in the like robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of
Yes.
deal.
Yes.
It sounds like you guys are in like the apocalypse and you're stretching out your rations as far as possible.
Scrambling to keep it
I
all.
mean, it feels like that. You start trying to like work the system a little bit.
Yeah. Like trick your
Sounds-
mind here.
Yeah, awful. Just in case anybody's listening, Lindsay and Rosada are on prep. This is not normal
Yes.
life. Please understand.
No. This is not just part of how we roll. It's we're both coming up. Rosada's club. How far out are you? You're like 7 weeks.
Yeah, we'll be 6 weeks tomorrow.
Saturday.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna be there.
Look at her eyes. Her eyes she got the El Alarmo look. But I'm like 10 weeks. So it's close. It feels like it's in the way it feels is like it's in 2 weeks and I'm not ready. That's how it feels.
Well, I'll be at yours too, so.
Ooh, look at that. Camera
Sorry, Rosada, what? Yeah.
I said camera girl.
Take a picture. It's not gonna last long. Take a picture. It's not gonna last long.
I'm bringing Mark with me.
Oh, good. Hot man.
I'm going to drag him along. I was like, I'm going to be busy all day Saturday. He's like, I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself. Like,
I
all
think
right.
Matt will be there too, and he'll be happy to have someone to not just have to sit either outside or inside the show. Because I don't know how Dan is, Rosada, but Matt does not care about anything except like if he could come in and watch me go and then instantly leave, that's what he would do.
Yep, that's Dan.
Like he could not care less about anything else. He's like, everybody looks exactly the same to me unless they look awful. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's boring.
Yeah, Dan's the same way. He's like, I'm like, did you see these guys come up? He's like, no. I
don't want to watch men in undies. That's what Matt said. And he was like, he texted me last time we were doing, because I think the other ones I had done were like women's only, or maybe like they were so broken up he just didn't see the men on stage. But he was sitting out there because I guess like the men's whatever went right before bikini. And he was like, why am I watching men dancing in underwear? And I was like, I didn't know, because that's the first time I didn't know they had like a whole routine they did with their music of choice.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that either.
I had no idea. They do. Yeah. They do a whole, in that bikini, the glammed up ones are like, they're like, get out there and do your front pose, your back pose, and get your ass off the stage. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. 10 seconds.
Yes. It's just different. I don't know. It's weird.
I'll never forget when I was at Rosada's show in Pittsburgh and Dan and Mason were there. And Mason was just so cute. It was hard to tell when Rosada's on stage because you were next to a couple girls that looked exactly like you. Like the same skin color, same hairstyle, same height, like, and we're like, which one? And like the group that went up right before you, Mason was like, go, mommy, and like flailing around in the aisle, and people were like, oh my god, that's adorable. And then I was like, wait, Mason, she's not up there right now. Like, she's next.
Next
so
group.
cute.
Next group.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It is adorable. But anyway, let's get into it about, well, I have you guys on because you are mummies, and we're about to head into the summer season where everything changes. And right, yeah. And we're kind of talking about how to not be an awful mom, to put it lightly, right?
Well, depending on which kid you ask on which day, I may not be an authority on that.
But to be, transition smoothly, still have fun with your kids, enjoy your summer break, all that jazz.
Yeah.
I try.
How do you guys, so how do you, speaking to the moms out there, how big of a difference is your day-to-day routine from like the school year versus the summer time?
For me, it's more of like, well, you get less time to do things. I work from home. Lindsey does too, I guess. But like, you have that gap of when they are in school to get all the things done. Whereas now they're home, and we try to sign him up for every single camp and activity that we can during the summer. But the times are like, okay, from 9 to 11. It's like little 2 to 3 hour camp. So the time that I at least have to do all the things, work, because work doesn't stop. House chores don't stop. Things, training, eating doesn't stop. So all of that has to be combined into with him. Everything's with him, or getting him to a camp and back, or an activity and back. So it's a big transition.
That sounds like a lot. Yeah,
it is. And I like, and I'm with Rosada. They're like, oh, this would be so fun. It's cooking camp, or, and then you look at the time and you're like, what you want me to do for 3 hours? What do you want me to do specifically? Because the nanny's off today. Like, and we went to one of those last summer, and it was because it was me and 2 other moms took turns taking, because I can't do that. We also live far out. Like, so we live like outside of a suburb of Little Rock. And so anything I do, we're talking between 20 and 30 minutes drive time. So when we're looking at an hour round trip and you're only going to be there for 3 hours, it's a no from me, dog. We don't do that.
Yeah, they don't give much time, and it's like you have to include travel. So yeah, I definitely try to partner up with some other moms, and okay, you take them, I'll pick them up, or you take them to this camp, I'll take them to this camp. So that does become good to have.
It does. It is. And like my kids too, they have like all day camps, and how old my kids are now, they do not want to do that.
Yeah.
Like at all.
I was going to say,
like
they're kind of out of that.
14-year-old. Oh, she would smother me in my sleep if I tried to send her to like her school or some kind of little like kids camp. She's like, please don't do this to me.
Right.
And she's old enough to be by herself, like at home, right? And plus she's old. She's like a 40-year-old.
Bella, I know. She's like, she's making sourdough and crocheting. But still, you feel like those days when they're just home all day, I do feel kind of yucky because they are on their own. And my 8-year-old, she's just probably by force, but she's pretty like independent. Like she just can do her own thing all day long. But it's not good things. It's not productive. It's not learning. It's not active. And so that is my summer struggle, is constantly feeling like I have to work, and my clients deserve my full attention year round. But also my kids do too. Like they're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's my push and pull. And the only thing that gets me through is structure for them and for me, to remind and I'm not, Rosada's way better at this than me. I have to remind myself to interact with my kids doing things they want to do. I don't want to play with you. I don't want to build Legos. I don't want to watch you ride your bike up and down the driveway 400 times. I don't. But I have to like schedule that in and be like, play with your kids, Lindsay. Like, go do something. Like, after you're done at work, take them to the pool. You like do things like that, and that's how I get through. It's like intermittent breaks of like, all right, we're going on a walk. For Bella, she'll work out with me. Like she's old enough to go to the gym.
Oh.
And yeah, just kind of, and also bribing the older one to please help me with this littler one. Please fix her lunch.
Yeah, I definitely break it up too on the days that he is home. Like, okay, mommy's going to work for 2 hours and then we'll do something, whatever you want to do. But I only have this amount of time. Like I do, like even now he's home sick. And like yesterday, I'm like, great, like this is basically a summer day. So it's like, okay, I'm going to work for a couple hours and I'll come in and do something. What do you want to do? Well, I want to build a Lego set that's like 500 pieces. Okay, we're only going to do about a quarter of that because that's probably going to take mommy an hour, not Mason, mommy. And then I'm going to go back to work or I'm going to go out in the garage and train. And then when I'm done, we'll do it again. But yeah, it definitely, and he's the only one at home. My daughter's not even here. Like she's on her own. So it is, yes, he's pretty sufficient. The older he's gotten, he's pretty good at doing things on his own. But
for a while, yes, for a hunk of time.
Yes.
And then they start feeling neglected as they should. You know, they're not adults.
Yes.
But that is a struggle. And like Rosada also has a garage gym, which I mean, so wonderful, especially in the summer. Oh my gosh. And my kids will like come outside and it is so wonderful to have that. I'm not kidding. To just not have to go work out at 5 a.m.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about no AC.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have AC.
Lindsay's a little higher up than I am. I don't have
I'm
AC
a little less
yet.
tolerant. But it's not great. It's still in a garage. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like great insulation. The fans honestly do a better job with the door open than the AC.
True.
But like my
2
kids are
fans.
so accustomed to me working out. Like the other day, they were home for something like President's Day or something. And I'm out in the gym and I was like, y'all come outside, get the sidewalk chalk, Bella, bring your knitting needles out here or whatever. It's like, get some sun. And like Charlie, like I'm in the middle of doing back squats and Charlie comes in there and is like, Mom, look. And Bella looks up and goes, stop, Charlie, mid-set. Like they know, like you don't talk to me.
So cute.
I love
Mommy,
it.
Mommy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think
don't talk to me mid-set.
I think though, like I can see how one would feel guilty that they're not dedicating their every minute of the day to their child and all that. But honestly, it's still being a really good example to your kids about structuring your day and being organized. And it might take some adults some time to learn how to do that. But they say for a kid to be bored is really good for their brain. So don't feel guilty.
Yeah, that's when they do the stuff that could be like their lifelong hobby or their interest in reading actually gets developed is when they're not on the but like there's the other side to that freaking sword is you're going to say, first of all, I'm not going to play with you. I'm going to go in my office and you can't disturb me. And then I'm going to come out for a little while and go back in. But also, I don't want you playing your games, like your computer games and stuff like that. Like, it's kind of like you feel like yuck about it. And so we do the screen time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a valuable tool. Like, you've got 2 hours today to play your little games and talk to your friends. Yeah. Don't use it all up between 6 and 8 a.m., right? Like, it's kind of like being responsible for time management and having, like my kids in the summer, I run the dishwasher every night and they have to unload it every morning. They have to have their rooms picked up and cleaned. They have to, they have their own little like list of summer chores that they really don't have during the school year because it's school and then practices.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like kids don't have time to do anything at home. It's like Bella on days where she has school will be from we leave the house at 7:15 and she doesn't get home till 9:15 at night on 2 days of the week because of practices and stuff. So the summer is nice. It's nice for her to get enough sleep. It's nice for her to have a little bit of downtime to do hobbies other than school and sports.
Right.
And I try to remember that during the summer. Like this could be like I could be stressed out all the time, or I could take responsibility almost like I'm the parent and plan the day around what's best for everybody.
Right.
And I love working from home. To me, it is Rosada, like Mason's homesick. Does he have strep again?
Oh my goodness, it's probably the only time that I was hoping that it was, but no, he has flu B.
Oh yeah, me and Charlie had that. It was terrible.
Well,
Flu B.
yeah. So thankfully, his
There's A and
symptoms
B.
are really mild, and he never ran a fever. But the reason I took him in was because he was coughing, and it sounded sounded different. And I was like, "Well, we leave Friday for California, so Mommy's just gonna take you in and make sure you have nothing." And the doctor was like, "Well, Mom, we've got flu B." I was like, "Yay!"
Well, maybe we had flu A. We had the near-death experience.
Oh no, he said flu B is
days
mild.
in a row.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think so.
We were terrible.
No,
I don't like that though, Lindsay. Sorry,
no, that's okay. No, I was just gonna say his cough sounds gross, but
yeah,
yeah,
mine does too.
There's a gremlin.
It's permanent. It's permanent. It's just who I am now. I hope you love it.
Coughing's the worst symptom, I would say.
Yeah.
Aside from not being able to breathe.
It's the most annoying.
It's just anyway. I was gonna say though, Lindsay, like I'd actually never thought of that one because my year is the same every single day of the year.
Yeah.
As far as schedule goes. So like having a schedule like that, a summer schedule and a school year schedule, I think that sets up, I don't know, probably would help moms like mentally just be like, oh, that's a really good idea. Change the expectations based on the schedule so that, if my kid is getting home at 9 p.m. at night, but they didn't do the dishes, I don't have to yell at them because the expectations are different, right?
Absolutely. And just like my day, even on days where I don't have a lot of work or anything, I've just learned to time block my day because I'm a time waster. I will look on social media. I will walk around my house in circles doing 1/4 of 15 jobs.
Yep.
Like I'll switch the laundry, but I'll never fold it. Or I'll like come in here to vacuum. Anyway, I have to even on days where I don't technically have anything to do, like a Saturday or a Sunday where I'm not even working out. I don't care. Like it could literally say, and it does sometimes, not today, but like it'll say like, free time, read, give myself, my future self suggestions on things to do. That has been a game changer for my being able to feel calm and collected. And in the first summer I've ever done it was last year. Man, it made a huge difference of me feeling like I'm going to pull my hair out. I'm a rotten mom. These kids have been on roadblocks for 15 hours. When they stop doing their little summer camp things. So it to me is just about, not just, but so much of it is at least having an idea of what the day could look like with different parts of it. Like this part is for chores. This part is for work. Yeah. This part is for learn something, like buying little workbooks for kids and asking them to complete the book. Not for my older one, but also everybody has to sit down and read at this time.
Yeah.
Like get a book and let's post up on the couch together.
Yeah.
I like that. The key word there being the could of the day. Yeah. Like it doesn't, because there are, people out there who are like, all right, we're time blocking. And they're so my sister-in-law is like that, very rigid, not necessarily a negative way, but be a little malleable. with the schedule.
Oh,
yeah,
knowing there's like
for
a
sure.
time and place to be rigid. Like during the school year, it's
Yes.
so much easier to be more rigid. Whereas like during the summer, I like to have more of a routine versus a schedule because like,
That's
oh,
it.
well, we were on our way to pick up Mason from the, you know, the camp and there was traffic and that took us another extra 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So like having more of a routine, like, and it changes every day. Like every day is different. It's not the same as in Monday through Friday when they're feeling 100% is school. And then practice is usually the same day every week. Whereas summer, it's like, well, these 2 days we're doing this camp and these 2 days we're doing this camp and this day he's home all day. So being able to pivot, but at least having an idea of what your day is. And that to me, I feel like I'm like, okay, like, yep, we're getting up in the morning. We're doing this and this. It doesn't matter what time, as long as it's done by a certain amount of time, right? Like you still give yourself time, but I just feel more like, okay, like, and I check the boxes off. Cause like Lindsey said, I'm the same way. Like I've asked my mom several times, are you sure you've never had me checked for ADHD? Or because I will go in a room, Dan will come in and he's like, why do you have dishes like clean on the counter, some in the sink? Like, but then you're folding laundry. I'm like, I don't know. It just,
I know
where my brain goes.
Like you do. You stay busy all day and don't get a damn thing done. I hate that. It makes me so annoyed at myself. Like I am middle-aged.
Yeah.
You should at least have a grasp on the freaking basics.
Yeah.
But I still have to make sure it happens. I'm not just in like such a good mental or physical routine that like I just get up and start roboting around. I'm like, no, I got to reel it in. And that, like what you said about getting up, and I think this is, well, my older daughter gripes about it, but we're not staying up all night in the summer. Like my kids have the same bedtime on just regular days. There's nobody at a sleepover. It's not the weekend where I can sleep in an extra hour. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. What are you up for? Like just to like get off like you're like mess up your circadian rhythm. We're not doing that. Like, and I think like people are always so shocked. Like your kids have a bedtime in the summer. Like I want to go to sleep. What are you still doing up? Like no, you're not staying up till 10. I'm not staying up till 10.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
We're the same way. Monday through Friday, at least Monday through Friday, I'm like, no, you can still go to bed at the same time because you're the first one to gripe and groan in the morning when I'm like, hey, let's get up, let's get moving. So
But and like, what are you doing up? Like to me, it's like if you were like, I don't know, doing research or something. Like, yes, stay up.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're just watching TV
Yeah.
or looking at your games or doing filter. Like my little one, I'm like, there's literally nothing. In my teenager too, because she just already has a tendency to want to stay up late. You know how teenagers like kind of schedules are off.
Yeah.
And so of course I let her stay up a little bit later, but because Matt stays up later than me, I'm like, that's fine. But when your daddy goes to bed, you go night night. You can't be loose in here just with like a cell phone. No.
That's hilarious. I think too, like thinking ahead for them as adults, having that routine regardless of the time of the year, because eventually they're going to be like us. There's going to be no summer break. So I think, I don't know, that sets them up in a way that you probably, I don't know, wouldn't expect, right?
Well, it's what is best. And that's kind of like my job as a parent. What is best is to help people find a great sleep wake cycle so that they feel refreshed. They're still literally growing, so they need that sleep and that rest for optimal health. And so there are a lot of things that I do that would be a lot easier if I didn't care about being a good parent. I could be completely lazy and be like, good night, go to bed when you feel like it. That would be so much easier than me making people like listen to them gripe and groan, right? But that's not the best for them. It's not. Same thing with like eating. I'm sure that like they would just eat cake for dinner every night. But we're not doing that. I know better. I wouldn't do that to myself.
Right.
So why would I allow my kids to start developing these habits that they are eventually going to have to fight because they're not going to work for them?
Right.
Yeah. Well, plus, it's a lot better to sleep in than go to bed late. Like, if anything. That should be like the difference in summer break.
Yeah, no, I don't go in there. I don't go in there with like a cowbell at 6 a.m. like I do at school. But guess what?
Yeah.
They still wake up about the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd hate that.
Yeah.
No,
Mason.
let's get up. Like the
Yeah.
morning hours are productive. The night
True,
hours
true.
are not.
No, yeah. And I always think like Mason's in sports year round, regardless if it's summer or, school year. He's in some sort of sports. Martial arts is year round, like jiu-jitsu and the Muay Thai that he's in, that never ends. So I'm like, he needs
Right.
his sleep for rest, recovery purposes. Like I'm thinking about his growing, his bones, like his muscles. Like I'm like, you need your rest, buddy, because you play hard. Like it's not like you are just laying around watching TV all day. Well, except for today, but like it's
Except when it's
he's in
appropriate, yes.
right, when he's active all day long. Like I'm like, you need your rest. You need to have that bedtime and at least some sort of morning time routine.
Yeah, and it makes them so much happier and more well adjusted. And I think like Bella's friends and like people are like, what does your mom eat? What does she make you eat? And like, because I'm a fitness coach,
Yes.
and I think that it's surprising to people that that's not what I'm strict on with my kids. It's not what they're eating or what food is in my house that's good or bad or poison.
Like they're in some prison.
Yes.
Like I'm some like, one of those like people that, think that carbs are bad or that sugar is poison. She's like, that's not how you're weird. How you're weird is how much water have you drank today? How many times have you filled up that water bottle? Go to sleep. Like we're not staying up all night just to stay up all night.
Did you have
Screen time? Like, yes, like that's the things that I'm weird about.
Yeah.
I don't care how many Oreos you eat. I don't care. Like it's not that. It's more like, did we eat today at all?
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock. Have you eaten?
Yeah.
Make sure that I have like good food for them in the house. But no, I don't police what you eat, but I will police your habits.
Yeah.
That's good.
Same here. Yeah.
Well, they need it.
Yeah. And I have a husband who's like not anywhere, like he's like, don't tell me, don't even try to tell. Like I'll be like, did you eat some protein today at least? And it's very much like, don't tell me. Every now and then he'll be like, I need you to reel me in. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, but, right.
Yeah, we don't like, a lot of people when they look in my pantry and stuff or open, they're very surprised at like, oh, you have those kind of snacks for your son? Like you let him eat those? I'm like, yeah.
Yep. Because what's worse than sugar is putting fear of food and worry about things like that into their little brains. Putting that little worm in their brain is so much more detrimental than Dunkaroos.
Yes. Or goldfish.
Or Cheez-Its, or however many pounds of cheese Charlie Black eats in a year. Thousands.
I can't believe you let him have like pizza.
That. Oh, yeah, it's just funny because I was kind of talking about that with Mark today or yesterday, where like the laws of physics from what my brain knows versus what I'm seeing isn't right, but it's also right at the same time. Like both are true. So you guys as bikini competitors, one would think like, oh, their home must be so strict. They're only eating lean meats. They're only eating vegetables, blah, blah, blah. And then they come into your pantry. They're like, where am I? Like, this is not right.
This is a very loose ship. This is a very loosely run ship.
That's so funny. But I do like what you said, Lindsey, that, with policing their habits, that's such a good distinction, because if you look at the overall like effect of how this habit's going to affect them for the rest of their life, you want to set them up for success and adulthood. Like what they're putting, this Oreo they're putting in their mouth right now. Yeah, there's obviously a better option, but let's look at the bigger picture here.
But they also eat the better option. I don't like soapboxing to my kids. It's ineffective and it feels fake to me. I will also eat Oreos and give them half the chance.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, and I'm very cognizant of it. I'm sure Rosada is too, because there are times when I'm very rigid with food, and it's important that my kids know that this is for a sport, an extreme sport,
Right.
like where I'm, doing things in a totally different way. And of course, they've seen all sides of it, but just making sure that they know that this is not because of ethics or morals or a belief that I am better or worse because of the way that I am eating. It is for a purpose. And I'm not going to pass judgment on them for not eating the same things as I am when they are not bikini competitors, right?
Yeah.
They're in performance sports. That's a totally different thing. And just not putting emotion into, and you got to remember that too. And people, when you think about when we get low, like low food equals low energy and can equal lower mood, and being so careful not to be constantly griping and complaining about, like, oh God, I killed 5 men for a cookie. Like, you can't do that. You
No.
can't share your struggle. I'd
No.
punch a puppy for a sandwich.
Right.
You can't. You just have to, like, that's a struggle you chose, and to not put that on your kids, because what do people do that love you? Your poor little kids, and your husband too. They're like, Jesus Christ, eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, the simple answer, it's so simple, just eat then.
They want to help you. So
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I keep it to myself. Like those, like, just different things. I definitely keep that to myself because I don't want them to develop weird feelings around controlling what you eat, because that is going to be, I mean, unless I don't know what all would have to change. The way things are set up, we are all going to have to be intentional about what we eat,
Right.
especially as we get older, because there's just too much high calorie,
Right.
processed, easy stuff available, to where if we always choose that, we're going to be in some health crisis.
Yeah.
So it's a balance of, yeah, you have to be intentional and educated about what you eat, but you also don't want to be over the top, anxiety about food. You don't want to push to either extreme. I
Right.
don't.
I
I
don't
don't like
either.
extremes at all. I want to cruise. I just like to cruise in a happy medium.
Yeah,
Right.
me too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I would not. And I mean, and when I first started prep, it was very much complaining, like a lot of complaining. But then I had to remind myself, like, okay, well, I'm the one getting on stage. Like, I'm the one putting in this effort. Like, this is my choice. It's not Mason's choice or Autumn's choice or Dan's choice. Like, I can't make them feel guilty for what I've decided to do. So that took a few preps for me to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, especially that 5 to 2 week span. That last few weeks, it's like your energy is just done. You're done, and all you want, and everything that shows up on your feed is some sort of food that probably you would not eat, but you would eat right then and there because you want it, like, because that's all that's on your mind.
I unfollow that like crazy. Like, I really do. Like, if something pops up, I'm like, not right now. Like, unfollow, like, right now. Like, I just have to fight. You have to fight that headspace of being so food focused that you will gripe and complain. And I don't know about you, but my husband is real quick to be like, I ain't competing, you are.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Dan will quickly throw me under the bus real quick. Like, you? Like, you pick this show.
Yes, you decide to do this. We are just here living. And get reminded of that real quick. And I do have, like, my mindset is, and it's the same way, like, people that come home and they're mean to their families and stuff. If you can be nice to the Kroger cashier, you can be nice to your husband and kids.
Amen.
Fake it. Yeah. Fake it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can control it, then you can control it.
Right.
You're not going to be perfect all the time, but you do need to be aware of your low patience. I'm trying to avoid saying bitchiness, but that's what it is.
It's
like,
okay.
your low patience, your low tolerance. You know what I mean?
Like 0.
But yeah, so it's going to be an interesting summer.
Yeah, it is. It is.
with these kids at home, and me not in the 200 carb club. That is dangerous territory.
Oh.
So we got to be prepared.
Yes. Yes.
I do want to touch on kind of back to the energy levels, because, you know, a lot of moms are not computer or competitors. So
No.
yeah, you know, and I think that's such a great place to start for anybody who's like, I got to get everything under control. I'm sick of something, blah, blah, blah. Starting with your sleep and your energy levels throughout the day. Like, I think that's such a great baseline, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
It is.
people think like summer and they're like, oh, we're free. We have no, no time constraints. And even though I work at home, I still work. Like I still have to find the time to work.
Yes.
And if I don't set myself up, then that work is not going to get done. And then like, it's just going to reflect on my clients. And then what's that going to do for me? Like that's not going to help me at all. And same
And
thing
how you
for,
feel about yourself
right.
as being like an effective leader. And I mean, for me, I'm the leader of the house. It is what it
That's
is. My
right.
husband would tell you the same thing. Well, I mean, I am.
Yeah.
This is my thing. My work, and the house is my thing too. And like how I feel about my efficiency and effectiveness and leadership there
Yeah.
is the biggest impact on how I feel about me. If my house looks dirty and nobody has clean clothes and I am behind on programming workouts and I've got 50 messages in my inbox, I will just go get in a hole.
Yeah, I was just about
You know
to
what
say.
I mean? Like I can't do that. And I see that a lot of people like, well, it's the summer. We were up till midnight watching Netflix, and like that's a choice.
Right.
That's not giving yourself more freedom. You're just chipping away at your self-confidence little by little. And people don't see it because they do think like freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forgetting
Yeah.
that true adult freedom comes from discipline. So when I sleep in the summer, it's never by more than 1 hour. Like instead of getting up at 5, I'll get up at 6 because I don't have to, do the kids getting ready for school and all that big morning routine.
Yeah.
But that's literally the extent of it. And a lot of times I don't sleep till 6 because I still go to bed at the same time. And I think what people miss is they're so tired and they'll start being like, what supplements do I need? Am I low in this? Am I low in that? And they get so aggravated when you say, well, how much sleep are you getting since you're sleepy and all that? Well, it's XYZ, and then I need this much time just to myself after my kids. You just hear that a lot. But honestly, if what you want is just to feel better, just feel better, have more energy to get through your day, to be the person that you feel like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm rocking and rolling. I'm going through my day. The squeeze is not that big for that. Like I'll always talk about how much it's some podcast I listen to. I can't remember which one, but however much juice you want is how big your squeeze is going to be. Right. So if you want to compete, if you want to be a bikini competitor that does good, that's a lot of squeeze. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of work. If you want to feel better, feel happier, feel more energetic, feel more capable, feel more confident, that's honest to God. It's not a huge squeeze.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
can just start there by regulating what time you go to bed and what time you get up, how much water you drink, track protein and fiber, and that's it. That's not a huge squeeze, right? But the effects of how you feel will be amazing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it goes back to the mindset of things like, oh, it's summer, so we can eat whatever we want and do whatever we want, stay up late. And that's not the case because, like, well, at least for me, my husband still has to go to work. So I'm always like, well, if we stayed up late and did things, and let go of food or what have you, and just free for all, like he, by responsibility, has to get up and go to work. All that responsibility of letting the house go and eating whatever we wanted and not sleeping right, that comes onto me. So then my whole day is like scrambling to fix, or not necessarily fix, but pick up from where we just kind of let go. And that I'm like, no, nope, we're going to bed, we're getting up.
You don't want to constantly want to be digging yourself out of a hole. And that's what people don't understand. When you stay up too late, when you don't eat well, you are constantly putting yourself in a hole you're going to have to climb back out of over and over again.
Right.
And you cannot make progress when you're still digging yourself out of the same hole over and over. You got to get out of the hole and then move forward.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it. And I think being a coach helped me with this because, look, I ain't going to be popular. I'm just not. Everybody's not going to like everything I say, what I tell them. Same with my family and my clients. I don't care anymore. I'm not trying to be popular. I'm trying to be correct. So that helps.
Yeah.
I'm not used to being liked anyway.
It's overrated.
Podcast over.
Popularity ended in high school. I can just be my true butthole self now.
That's so cute.
And that also goes back to when like we start school and moms are like, oh, 8 weeks, 12. I think we had talked about this on a podcast before, but where it was like, oh, 12 weeks to, get back from summer, what have you, that 8 week, that's when the boot camp starts because school's back. And like, I got to dig myself again out of the hole of the 10 to 20 because it was summer. I'm like, were you really on vacation from the day school got out till the day school started? Like you really went on,
or were you just at your house?
Yeah. Like, because if that's the case, like we need to have a conversation because I want to know like who gets a full on beach, like eat whatever you want, poolside vacation all summer long. Because I guarantee.
Yes, please send me how you got there.
Yes. I would love to do that.
Need those lotto numbers.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
That's so cute. So do you guys, I don't know about you, Rosada, like you have clients that are moms, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when it comes to this kind of subject and the schedule changes in the summers and all that, how do you actually, what's a better question? Or like, what are the objections or things that you hear when this time of year comes up when you're doing your check-ins with the mummies of your group?
Well, when it comes to summer, it's more or less, well, now the kids are home, so what do? I'm not going to have the time. And I'm like, well, you're the boss. Like, you're letting your kids set the schedule. Like, and you do kind of like Lindsey said, you kind of have to not care because you do have to, in a sense, give them that tough love of like, okay, so who's setting the schedule in the house? You or the kids? Like, oh, well, there's no schedule because it's summer.
Yeah.
No, not really. You're just pivoting into summer hours. Yeah, maybe the time that you have home to yourself is different or the time that you have that space is different. But how can you set that up to where you're still getting in some time for you? But yeah, the kids are home or doing what they need to do and you're enjoying that time with them. But that doesn't mean that like all meal prep or whatever you were doing before goes out the window. Like you can still pivot to that schedule of, okay, the kids are home. So how can we make this work? And as they get older, like Mason now, before Mason would stay in the house, but now the last couple of years, like he comes out in the garage or he'll shoot basketball hoops and in between my sets, he'll be like, can you come shoot a hoop or two with me? And we'll just do that. There's nothing wrong with him seeing like you work out or it's okay. Get them involved if you have to. When they're little, I used to lift Mason up and use him as my weight. Like you can do it. And even if it's, okay, I didn't get an hour in, but you got 30 minutes in. That's still something.
That's so cute.
But going back to what Caitlin said about just kind of like it is important to remember what we're raising are adults because they're going to be adults a whole lot longer than there are little babies in our house. And so don't soapboxing, preaching to them about you should do so much more effective and better for you too. What are you showing them? Right. Oh, it's summer, so I am not in charge of it. Like, of course you are. You're literally in charge of everything. Do you want your kids to see you lifting weights and working to get really strong and really healthy? Yes. So you should do that. Do you want your kids to see someone that continues to prioritize their health, mental and physical health all the time so that when they're adults, they don't even second guess, yeah, I should absolutely prioritize my health. We
Right.
want that for our kids. We want them to remain healthy and happy and active and in charge of themselves.
Yeah.
So how do you argue that you shouldn't model that?
Right.
Where's the argument that no, I want my kids to be healthy and successful and on top of their lives and peaceful and happy. But what I am going to be is a chicken with my head cut off that takes entire months off
Yeah.
from being that person that just
Right.
takes complete breaks.
Yeah, that's a good distinction. And a good reminder. And usually kids are a good motivating factor for parents. I can't stand it when you kind of said this a little bit ago, Rosada, where who's running the household? Like you or the kids. And when I see those homes, sorry, but when I see those homes where the kids are so clearly in charge, I have to walk away. Like I can't, like they're in charge. That's wrong.
Yeah. Can you imagine if kids like were just in charge? I don't even know how many animals would live here. It would be insane. We'd have hamster, gerbil, lizard, dogs, cats, cows, monkeys, pigs.
Yes.
I just can't imagine, honestly.
It would be a full-on video gaming sorcery of some kind with basketball hoops on every single doorway. Like, no.
That's so funny. Have you guys seen that? It was like I think it was a YouTube video clip thing. Well, it was longer than a clip, but they did this experiment with kids where they took a group of like 10 girls, put them in a house by themselves. It was fully stocked and everything. There were cameras everywhere because it was an experiment. And they did the same thing with a group of boys in a different house. And it was so, because, the minute the boys ran in, they're destroying everything. And it was the best reality TV, when adults get locked into a house and shit goes everywhere. Like the boys, they were drawing all over the walls, being destructive. And then it got to the point where somebody was like, okay, we need to eat. Who's going to cook? And they start dividing, responsibilities, and they kind of chose this leader, like how things naturally progressed. And eventually there were like rivalries made, and somebody's calling their mom. And then when it came to the girls, they immediately walked in. They're like, all right, so who's gonna be in they were so cute and organized. You're gonna do this, and then I know how to cook, so I'll cook, and then eventually the division started and the gossiping starts. It was just so funny and cute, but it was a really good experiment. I can't remember how it ended, or like what the overall or like I don't know what they exactly were trying to, like, the information they were trying to get from it, but it was just such a funny distinction of like, that's really what you want running your house?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've even tried that. You know that movie Yes Day? Have y'all seen that?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to tell my kids because I don't even want to think about like what they would ask me to do.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to say yes. Like told myself, I'm going to say yes to everything my kids. And I've never been able to do it because somebody's going to say something so dumb or so ridiculous. You're like, what? No.
No.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
Well, they'll keep pushing the boundary. They'll keep asking for. They're like, let's see how far we can take this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I stay up till 8:30?
Yeah.
Yes. Can I stay up till 9?
Yeah.
Yes. It'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that, Rosada?
Mason is asked to do a yes day. Like, how about we have a yes day? I'm like, how about no? Like, no, it's not going to work that way. I'm sorry. I love you.
I wouldn't want my kids to watch that movie.
Oh,
like, I don't need to put that idea in your head.
Yeah, it goes pretty crazy.
It does.
They're like, Mom, can we have a yes day? No.
I love you enough to say no. Yeah.
No.
I can't.
Yeah. Anyway, so to wrap things up, what are your guys' final thoughts for our mommies out there?
Going into summer, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I would just say just pivot into it as a new schedule. Like, but keep your routine. Like, don't let go of that routine. If you like, you know your schedule, or at least what you have to do, your priorities. So work around that. The kids are home more, yes, but how can you better assess those days of the week to still get your priorities done and then take care of you and your health, and keep that consistent to enough to where the kids just are there as well. Like, it's part of, like, they're part of your schedule, they're part of your routine, they're part of your priorities as well. So yeah, you can pivot into it. It's not a free for all just because we're not in school and on a summer schedule.
Yeah. My deal with what I want to tell people with summer is pivot your mindset away from being not intentional about your food and your overall health and your workouts and doing what's best for your health. That's not freedom. That's digging yourself that hole I was talking about, that you are going to eventually have to climb out of when you start experiencing some form of decline, whether that be mental or weight gain or whatever it is. So pivot your thoughts away from, oh, you know what's fun? Eating a bunch of crap and laying around as much as possible. That is not adult fun. That feels like crap. So use any kind of perceived or real extra time or hours to make things easier on you, but do the same things. You have more time to sleep a little bit extra and get better restorative sleep, but keep your bedtime. Keep that same bedtime and wake naturally instead of with an alarm. Have extra time for food prep so it's not all rushed in on a Sunday or whenever is the only day. Take some extra time if you have it. But a lot of women still work, right? Like, you still have like your normal job. So just view summer as maybe a little bit of extra time. But again, what we are is moms, is we are the example. We are, the first thing in their vision of what being an adult looks like. And make sure you're modeling what you want your kids' lives to be. Do you want them to be like constantly struggling, talk about they feel like crap, they look like crap, I'm too fat, I'm too tired? Or would you rather be energetic and happy and calm and confident and smile and live your life in a way that, like, it's fun here? I like being a mom. And I've told Caitlin this on the podcast before. A kick in the butt, or more like the gut, for me was freaking out, not having enough time for this, for that, griping, being just so stressed out, and Bella going, well, I don't think I'm going to have kids. It is too hard and too much work and stress.
Oh.
And I was like, that's what my kid's seeing. Like, this is what she thinks being her parent or a parent is like.
Right.
Misery.
Oh.
Like, good job. Great job. You're crushing it.
Right.
And so just being honest, like, being a parent, being a mom is the biggest joy, blessing I have in my life, and acting like it.
Right.
Oh, Bill, that's gonna make me cry.
Don't cry, just have a baby.
Yeah, good cry. Yeah, I know. All right. Well, thank you guys. Rosada will be back in, I think it'll be the following episode after this one gets published, something like that. But she'll be back because we love her, and we can't let her go.
No. Well, you're stuck with me, so.
Yay! I'll hold you hostage forever.
Yay. I'll take it.
Tell Mason we said hi.
I will. He's already popped his head in about 3 times.
Is he gonna be there at your show? Wait, no. Never mind. I'm saying.
No.
Okay, yeah, I figured. I answered my own question. Anyway, yeah, tell him we said hi, and everybody have a great rest of the week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the FFP Alignment Podcast. Please support us by downloading, rating, and recommending us to your friends and family. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at the FitFemme Project. That's FITFEMME Project. And for those of you looking to find their essential balance of lifestyle and fitness, book a free consult by going to thefitfemmeproject.com. That's FITFEMME Project.com and click Apply Now. Until next time, this is the FitFemme Project Alignment Podcast.